and welcome to my May book haul. I swore I wasn't going to do a book haul for a while because I was on a book ban, but then books went on sale, pre-orders came in, and I also finally got to do a birthday present exchange with my best friend because we've been very busy recently and we finally managed to get together, so I have books, so I figured I'd do a book haul, so let's get into it. The first one is Dungeons and Dragons: The Road to Neverwinter. This one is by J. Lee Johnson, and this is the origin story to the Dungeons and Dragons movie and how they ended up in the prison at the beginning, all the rest of it. And I am really excited to read this one. I loved the D&D movie so much. I really want there to be a sequel. I want this to become a huge series. I love the first one so much. I really want more from it, and I was just really invested in these characters and everything else, and I was really interested to find out how they ended up in this prison and everything else. And well, the book went on sale, so I picked it up. Similarly, I also got Feed, which is part of the Nooseflesh trilogy by Myra Grant, aka Shauna Maguire, and this is a zombie outbreak book where essentially we've cured cancer and all the rest of it, but unfortunately some of the side effects are zombies, and our two main characters are investigating 20 years later after the original outbreak as to what exactly happened. I've heard amazing things about this series. I will say I'm a little bit worried because it's kind of pandemic based, but I do trust Shauna Maguire's work a hell of a lot, so I really want to give this a go when I'm feeling a little bit better in terms of reading pandemic stories. There is also The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown. This was a very recent buy for me, as in I literally bought this last night at time of filming, and this is a sci-fi horror mix about a doomed ship harbouring something between its walls. That's all I really know. I just know that this is a novella, and it's also the group book for the Culture Readathon, which is running throughout June, and I am taking part in this readathon, so I figured I'd also pick up the group book, see what I think about it, that kind of thing, and also tick off a whole lot of prompts while I'm at it. I then also picked up a couple of audio books, and 3 of them came in a bundle. They were Solitaire, Radio Silence, and I Was Born for This, all by Alice Oseman, and I have found that I really enjoy Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and I wanted to read more from her, and considering this was either free, I think this was part of the Audible like things that you can just pick up and add to your library for free, if I remember rightly, or I did spend a credit on it. I can't remember. Either way, I got all 3 of these because I really want to try out Alice Oseman's other work, and considering I was getting 3 for the price of 1, I couldn't complain. And then I also got Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, and this one is where witches are like working for the crown, preventing the apocalypse. From what I can tell of the synopsis, either way, Juno Dawson is one of my best friend's favourite authors of all time. I do have 1 or 2 of their books. I've got 1 or 2 of their books somewhere around here, and I really haven't read those yet, but at the same time this one sounds more on my alley because it's that fantasy based thing, so I decided to pick it up as well with an Audible credit. Then speaking of my best friend, she also bought me 2 books for my birthday, which was back in March, but we literally only have just had time to meet up with each other. The first one is The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu, and this one is all about Magnus and Alec on vacation, and they've got to try and race across Europe for whatever reason. Either way, it was about Magnus and Alec. They are 2 of my favourite characters of the Shadowhunter universe, so very excited to read it. She also then gifted me the Wakandan Atlas, and this is by Evan Narcisse, if I remember rightly. Yes, Evan Narcisse. I apologise right now if I've pronounced that wrong. But essentially this is an entire atlas to Wakanda. So we are dealing with like all of the key characters who turn up in Wakanda. So you've got like obviously Queen Ramonda, Storm, Shuri, T'Challa, Killmonger, Ulysses Claw, things like this. You've also got like maps of Wakanda in here. You've got bits about like the heart-shaped herb gardens, as well as like there's bits about like the Wakandan schools in here, in Jakarta village. All of this kind of thing is all fit like throughout here, like the Echo Chamber, which is where the Dora Milaje go as part of their initiation rites. All of this kind of thing, and it's just filled with information information about Wakanda, which is one of my favourite places to read about within the Marvel Universe. So I'm really, really excited to dive into this, find out more about that, like this place within the Marvel Universe, and possibly just use this as a guide to add more to my Wakanda blog posts and things like this, which I did a whole load of last year in time for Wakanda Forever to come out. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to that down below as well, because I may be updating it thanks to this book. Either way, really excited to dive in, find out more about the Wakandan universe and everything else, and yeah, so thank you very much, Charlie, for gifting me both of these books. And then the last two I have are pre-orders. So the first one I have is All Out Avengers Teachable Moments by Derek Landy. This is a series of presumably one-shots where the Avengers are dropped into the middle of the battle, or you are dropped in as the reader in the middle of the battle and have to kind of figure out what's going on and everything else, while the Avengers are also having this problem because they can't remember how this battle started or anything, and they're figuring out that someone may actually be trying to teach them something. And this was so much fun. I have already read this. I read it as soon as it came through my door, but essentially this was so much fun. The artwork in here is gorgeous. It passes the Bechdel test as well, which is nice. We've also actually got that classic thing where instead of the women being half dressed, we actually have Hawkeye, which was a nice bit to readjust the balance. The humour in here is great, and I'm really, really excited to see where this goes. Everything else, it kept me really guessing, and I gave it 4 stars, so definitely recommend this one. Absolutely loved it when I read it, and really, really glad to finally have it. And then the final thing I have that just arrived today is The Battle Drum by Sarah El Arifi, and this is the sequel to the... I've forgotten the name of the first book. Oh, damn it. The Final Strife is the sequel to The Final Strife. So I can't tell you much about it further than the fact that this is a sort of political high fantasy where we are dealing with a world where there is a caste system and the people on the lowest rungs are trying to take over or try and stop this, like, whole idea and trying to get some equality into their world. I love the first one, so I'm so excited to read the sequel, and I'm actually going to be reading it in June. Spoiler alert for my TBR for June, and I'm so excited to read this one because while I couldn't remember the name of the first book, I did really enjoy it. And that is everything I've recently bought or have received over the last couple of months. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me which book I really need to start with. I'd love to know if you've read any of these. Please leave your recommendations down below, or if you don't have that much time, leave me a drum emoji down below to let me know that you're here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which has all of that Wakanda stuff if you're interested, as well as a whole load of other things, including a ton of stuff about Spider-Man and everything else coming out soon. All of that will be linked down below, as well as a link down below as well to my Etsy store that sells bookish merch if you're interested in that. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, everyone, bye!